I've during online class. Yes, I'm serious, but let me explain the full story. So basically, right, during online class, I was this little kid and I just hated attending class. I would try to ditch, I'd find any reason to skip class. And I remember this day, right, it was some math class and I couldn't pay attention to what the teacher was saying. We were doing some kind of like quadratic equations, I can't remember. But back then, I was an absolute degenerate and being a little teenager with these hormones and stuff, I decided to do the unthinkable. And yeah, I released one during class. I don't know how to say it, but what I did was I just tilted my camera up and just started doing it. Yes, in the middle of the class while my camera was still on. Alright? It didn't show my face fully, but after I finished my business, I just pretended like everything was fine and I went on with the class. I tried to pay attention and I just sat there on my chair while it was an absolute mess down there. But okay, trust me, I'm not this weirdo anymore, alright? It was cringe, it was ridiculous, but I just wanted to use that story to explain and answer this one question you probably have. How do you defeat lust? How? How do you not end up in a situation where you literally stop trying to tickle your pickle in front of everyone in an online class? Now, hopefully, you're not as bad as I was, okay? I hope you do not do that. You should not do that, but I want to help you guys overcome lust. So, let's identify the most obvious mistake people make. So, what people do when they try to defeat lust is they try to refuse lust. Now, lust is a normal thing. It will come and then it will still be there. If you try to refuse it, it's not gonna work, okay? People go on this no-fap streak or whatever. I'm pretty sure if you're on self-improvement, you know this kind of stuff that people do, but this no-fap streak thing is kind of useless because if you treat a no-fap journey like it's a Duolingo streak, eventually you will give in, alright? You will eventually lose the streak because you're not identifying the root cause. So firstly, one of the main causes of this lust is that you are lonely, alright? Loneliness is a big factor. If you don't have anything to do, alright, if you don't have anyone to talk to or do things with, your mind has no ways to distract yourself from these lustful thoughts, alright? So what I want you to do is go out there, alright? Call up a friend, alright? You can go talk together, you can play golf, play ping pong, just hang out with them, and believe me, it is going to distract you from all these lustful thoughts. If you don't have friends, alright, you don't even need to go on a hangout. You could just go to a cafe, go outside for a walk. You could try a new hobby like roller skating. You could also do ice skating, whatever. Just do something that will get you out of the house and try new things because your mind will not be thinking about these lustful thoughts, alright? If you're trying to do new things and trying to get better at them, if you're exploring new places, trying to meet new people, you will not be thinking about these lustful thoughts. You won't have the time to do so. Another thing that I want you to do is remove any distractions. What I mean by this is if you have any apps, probably like TikTok, alright? TikTok can show you some unwanted videos. TikTok, you can also find them on Reddit. I believe there are these weird subreddits where these people have these fetishes and fantasies. You have to leave them, alright? Or even Discord servers. Leave any Discord servers that share these NSFW images, alright? If you identify these main apps and if you try to actively reduce your screen time on them, you are going to slowly but gradually remove these lustful thoughts, alright? There are also ways, for example, I believe on TikTok you could do not suggest this type of content. Also on YouTube, there are many ways to reduce your exposure to these type of contents. And trust me, if you step outside from these porn-infested online communities, alright, you will expose yourself lesser to these lustful thoughts. But okay, instead of using TikTok, instead of doom scrolling, instead of being online, what can you do? You could try reading a book. Alright, in a book, you won't see any of these images. It's only text and it's up to imagination. So pick up a book and try to read, alright? You will improve your vocabulary too. You will become more articulate. believe me, reading books is so much better than going online into these weird rabbit hole, into these weird communities of just sexual images and stuff. And another thing I want you to do is fill your life with a purpose, alright? Have something, a goal that you are working towards, because if you have a meaning or a purpose in life, you do not have time for lust anymore. What I mean by this is, instead of staying in your room all day long, try to do something that you've never done before, alright? Do things that you thought you would never be good at. What you could do is you can learn to code, you can learn to draw, you can cook, you can do something instead of just sitting on your bed where you're easily exposed to the bad side of the internet. Close your laptop screen, close your phone, and do something that you can develop. Try to find skills that you can develop in. And another thing, the last thing I want to say is, go outside and talk to more girls, alright? Instead of bubbling yourself in an online community where you see half naked girls, alright? Go outside in your social circle and genuinely get to know other girls better, alright? Go talk to them. If you have poor social skills like me, I am not a person with very great social skills, alright? It may be hard to talk to them. Yes, okay? If you talk to them, they may think you're a bit weird, but it's a part of the process. It's something you have to do. Talk to more girls to get better at talking to girls. It's not something like maths where you can study it and learn it. You have to go outside and actually do it. Build the confidence, build the courage, and you'll learn from your mistakes and errors. But if you want more videos to improve your life, alright, please comment down below your experiences or thoughts or advice, anything, just comment down below. You don't have to subscribe, like, or share this video. You can do that if you want. But remember, make an effort to go outside and socialize to remove the loneliness, alright? This is going to be one of the greatest ways to cure your lust whilst boosting your social confidence.